Hello, my name is Alan Hunt, and today I will be talking about the environmental effects and technological advances in fracking. I'll discuss the key technological advances that have been made to the process, the effects that fracking has had on the environment, and some of the potential benefits associated with fracking. First, let's take a brief look at what fracking is. In 1947, Floyd Ferris of Standard Oil and Gas discovered the practice of hydraulic fracking as a method of extracting oil and gas for commercial and residential use. Today, we know hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, as a technique designed to recover gas and oil from shale rock by pumping highly pressurized mixtures of chemicals and water into man-made fissures. The design of a fracking rig is similar to that of the typical oil rig. A well is drilled down into the earth and cased in cement, and through this well, oil and gas is extracted. Now, as you can see, this is the well right here. And they drill this well down and then do what is called horizontal drilling across to be able to reach more of the well. I'll talk about that later. Now, let's look at the technological advances that have been made to the process. In the 1990s, a man named George P. Mitchell discovered a process of drilling known as horizontal drilling. Horizontal drilling, also known as directional drilling, is an advanced extraction process in which the well shaft is turned horizontally to increase production. Back when they used to originally do it, they would drill individual wells down into the ground, and it would be costly because they'd have to keep making more and more rigs up and down with the rigs. So now instead, the horizontal drilling allows them to reach the entire well with just one single rig. Another big advancement that has been made was discovered by Standard Oil and Gas. And their discovery was that they use cement to line the casings. And basically what they do is they layer it with a steel casing and then cement, and then another steel casing and cement. And basically what the cement does is it creates an impermeable layer, so the gases and the chemicals can't escape, and by layering it, it makes it more and more efficient. The last advancement that I'll touch on is gas frac. Gas frac is currently coming up with a gel that will basically make it so there's less fluid being used during the process. And by doing this, it'll decrease the amount of environmental effects into the water table, and will also reduce the cost of having to transport the wastewater from the well, which is millions of gallons. And as you'll note, most of these are technological advances to help increase the environmental efficiency of it. Now, while advancements are being made to help the environmental footprint of fracking, the process is not completely eco-friendly. Currently, the largest and most well-known effect is the contamination of the freshwater table. Each well produces, like I said, millions of gallons of toxic fluid containing not only the added chemicals, but other naturally occurring radioactive material, liquid hydrocarbons, brine water, and heavy metals. Another environmental concern associated with fracking is air pollution. Now, most of the air pollution comes from methane, which is from the toxic waste, and driving around in the cars to transport the toxic waste and putting up and down the rigs all makes an environmental effect. The final main effect is earthquakes. Now, earthquakes come from the perforating tool, which is used in the horizontal drilling to create these fissures that you may be able to see. These fissures are what is used to extract the oil and natural gas from the shale. And the perforating tool uses small explosions to create those fissures. Now, the earthquakes are usually not that big, but they have gone as high as 5.2 on the Richter scale. And usually the people that are around the rigs are worried about the wastewater tipping over and spilling all over because of these earthquakes, on top of regular fears of an earthquake. Okay. And finally, I'm going to touch upon some of the benefits that are associated with fracking. The first and perhaps the biggest advantage of fracking is it provides the potential to break America's dependence on oil found in the Middle East. This breaking independence will result in roughly 3.5 million jobs by 2035. Now, the current workforce is about 1.7 million. So in roughly 20 years, the workforce will more than double as long as they continue to invest and frack. So here are my references.